Well, I'll go ahead and start off by saying that I love my wife, and she's usually a very kind, loving person. And to use your phrasing, and she is also a very critical person by nature.
Mm.
And the way she critiques me sometimes makes me feel like they're personal attacks, which oftentimes makes me start questioning my own value and worth.
Yep.
So specifically, about a month ago, she went off on me for not immediately doing the dishes after putting our kids down for the night. As I started doing them, she reminded me that she shouldn't have to keep reminding me to do them. And later that night, she got upset with me for throwing some dirty clothes into the washer when it already had clean clothes in it. I didn't realize that. I asked her for some understanding that I was just trying to do the right thing, but she told me I was only half-assing chores. I apologized for not seeming to be able to do the chores right, but she got even more upset with me, saying she's tired of me not valuing myself. So my question is, how do I work to value myself more despite her constant critiquing?
I mean, you don't have a partner, man. You've got a mother.
Trying not to.
No, like you don't have a romantic ride or die partner. You have like an overbearing mother. Like you play a role in her life. It's a super common thing, man, where wives just beat their husbands down, 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 and then they blame you for getting down. How long has this been going on, man?
About as long as we've been married, about 8 years.
Golly, dude. Are you exhausted?
Yeah.
Now, like I want to be fair to both sides. I don't want to just badmouth your wife. Are you pretty absent-minded? Has she asked for help for 8 years and you just fumble around and don't help? And I mean, is this a constant thing here?
It's definitely a two-way road. I can be absent-minded. When I get home at the end of the day, I've got a pretty demanding job, and so oftentimes I'll get home and my mind is just somewhere else. And sometimes she does have to kind of bring me back, or as you've mentioned on the show before, sometimes I don't see the things that she sees. And,
why doesn't she like
you?
you? Because this is she doesn't want to be your friend.
See, I don't think that's the case. We most of the time have a really good relationship where we are friends. It's kind of these cycles that just spin up every once in a while, and they definitely come up more when we're in a stressful time in life.
Yeah, but why have you become her punching bag? Instead of coming to you for restoration and y'all coming to each other for mutual, it's you and me versus the world. When things get stressful, she needs somebody to hit, and she's chosen you. That's what I say. Like, man, like y'all can be friends all day long as you're singing and dancing and performing the right way, right?
Right.
I mean, it's easy to be friends when things are good. It's when my friend Todd walked up behind me when I was in the middle of about to get my head knocked off. That's when things got dicey, and that's when one of my closest friends showed up. Or outside of a bar one time, my buddy John King got in front of me when things were about to get dicey. Well, things were super dicey. He got in front of me and he went first. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like when things get dicey, friends lock arms. They don't look at each other.
So what do you think I should do?
How have you tried to address this in the past with her?
I've brought it up, and I try to take your advice and do it when it's not, when we're not in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll, she usually admits to it and says, I'll try to be more understanding, and usually is for a period of time, and then after a few months or so, it'll spin back up again.
Okay. Those meetings are good, and I need to do a better job of the meetings are important, right? They have to happen. And good on you for doing it, not in the middle of a moment, trying to justify yourself when you have a wife who's enraged and decided you're going to be the punching bag for the day. You don't do enough, and then when you're doing it, you're not doing it right. And then you try to help a little bit extra, and you did that one wrong, and there's just no grace or compassion. So going back to the meeting, good for you for having it. There can't just be I'll try next time. There has to be some concrete steps. Right? And you hear the word boundaries thrown around a lot, but if you start talking to me like this, you're asking me to disengage.
Okay.
If you start yelling, if you start screaming, if you want me to read your mind and I don't do a good job of reading your mind, it's only right and fair for you to say, hey, I'm going to put the kids down. You don't normally do this, but could you grab X, Y, and Z? That's a fair request. If she's requested that 1,000 times, in 1,001, you just blew her off again, I'm not saying her response is fair at all, but that's not cool on your part.
Right.
And so I'm trusting you that no, I'm trying to be plugged into this house, but I also know that for millions of men, their home is a failure factor. They can't do anything right because their wives use them as a prop in this Instagram-y kind of world they're trying to keep together.
No, I mean, when she asks me to do something, I always do it.
I know, but what about before that? Do you ever just do stuff because you're a member of the house?
I try to.
And you get critiqued. You put the stuff in the wrong place. You don't wash the clothes right. Why didn't you use this fabric softener? Is that how it goes?
Yeah.
Okay. Because here's what's going to happen, dude. You're real close to resentment, aren't you?
Yeah.
Or you would be nuts if it doesn't get easier and easier to stay another hour at work and stay another hour at work and stay another hour at work.
Yeah, you're right.
And then the next step is, if it hasn't happened already, it gets easier for that one woman at work who thinks you're hilarious, for you to start thinking up a little bit funnier jokes to say. And then you'll hang out a little bit longer when the office goes to get lunch. It's just how these things happen. And if you want to preserve your marriage, at some point you have to say, you cannot talk to me like this. And this isn't sexy, but I can't read your mind. And so if you have things that you want me to do in a certain way, to the point that you get enraged with me, please, let's be super clear. Let's write them down if that's what we have to do. And on the other side of it, good grief, if you put the little spoons where the big spoons are, you've had a 16-hour day and you're exhausted and you're trying to help, then she can have some compassion and exhale, because it's not going to end her world either. But my guess is it doesn't matter what you do or how you do it or what you don't do. If she's coming home looking to punch, you're just going to get it no matter, there's not a way for you to win is what it feels like. Or, win is the wrong word. There's not a way for you to connect in those nights when she is seeking disconnection. Is that fair?
That's fair.
What makes you nervous about
you're
standing
hearing
up?
A lot of silence from me because I'm just kind of thinking through.
No, I know you. I know. It's hard, and it's hard to hear another guy talk about your wife like this. I got that. I get it. What are you afraid of?
I think just that it won't make a difference. It won't end. And just kind of where my mind goes is this just the life I've chosen forever?
No, it's a life that y'all are co-creating together.
How'd I know you were going to say that?
Well, here's what's awesome. What's amazing is y'all have chosen a miserable dance where you come in kind of aloof and absent-minded, doesn't matter what you do, it's never going to be enough. And then she has chosen, she doesn't like the life she has. And I don't know why, but she doesn't like the life that she has. And when that bubbles up and bubbles up and bubbles up, it comes out on you. And so for some reason, there's an inner anger in her. And it could be she wishes she was back at work. She doesn't like being a mom as much as she thought she did. She doesn't like you as much as she wants to like you. She doesn't, who knows what the thing is. You don't make enough money for her. Y'all don't have enough, like the neighbor's got a Suburban and y'all just have I don't know what the thing is. The things are in her life. But that's where we got to get to. Because she has to exhale and be happy that she's in her own home. Does that make sense? Does that ring true?
To a degree, yeah.
What makes her happy? What brings her joy?
I think just curling up in the corner with a book. That's her favorite thing to do, and I know that with the kids, she doesn't usually get to do that.
What's her favorite thing to do with you?
Probably just like traveling or going to someplace new and exploring.
Okay, the two things you've given me are both methods. They're both awesome, okay? I love reading a book. My wife loves curling up reading a book. I like being on the road. My wife likes traveling. But both of her two favorite things are escaping the life she has.
I never thought of it that way.
Because curling up and reading a book, one of my favorite things in the world. And I can also use it as a drug. And my wife, dude, she loves curling up and reading a book. My wife loves traveling and going to new places. But right now, right this minute as we're talking, she's building out the garden for this year. And my son's with her. And my daughter's roaming around digging holes or whatever. And this morning we had breakfast together. That's where our home has peace.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think the bigger question for you is, to your wife, you're not happy. You don't like this life that we've created. I want to create something with you together where escaping in the corner, away from the kids, away from me, escaping out somewhere else. I want home to be a place where you can exhale. And maybe she grew up in a world where home was never safe. And so the things that are kept her safe as a kid, that you've heard me say that. She has to practice being at peace. Who knows?
No, that's definitely true.
Okay. But I think it's, y'all, you're going to be forced into this conversation. And I'm afraid you're going to become somebody that you're not. You're going to find yourself in places that are out of character for you.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of too.
Okay. So if you've got this idea that you are always, every time I exhale, I've just fast forward 10 years and everything is the exact same. You don't like me. I can't do anything right in this house. I can't not do stuff right. I can't do stuff right. I want to be somebody that you exhale when they come in the door, and I'm at a loss. But deeper than that, your wife doesn't like the life she has. Do you like your life?
We're certainly in a season right now with young kids and particularly demanding jobs. So if I'm being honest, like at this moment, No.
Okay.
But it's not, I don't think it's a permanent state.
Okay. So I think it's a matter of saying, okay, we're in winter. We can just choose to hate each other during winter. But I don't want to choose that. When things are cold, when things are hot, when things are scary, when things are tense. That's why I want us to come together. And that can't be like, okay, I'll try harder. There's got to be you cannot talk to me like this. I'm tired of coming in my house and feeling like a failure factory. And she might say, well, I'm tired of you walking in the house and not participating in the rhythm of this home. Okay, I don't see it. I'm going to ask you to love me enough to write it down for me. And that's not unsexy, and that doesn't mean I don't love you. That means I'm going to practice seeing things because I just miss them, and I'm sorry. And I'm going to ask you to practice stop treating me like I'm a child. Treat me like a partner here. And we've both chosen this awful dance. We can choose something else. And I think for you guys, especially instructive, that's the question that saved my marriage, man. And by the way, I'm speaking because I've been where you are. I have been there, dude. And you find yourself like, oh my gosh, I'm about to step into new territory, man. I don't want to go there. How do you want this house to feel when you walk home every day? When you walk in the front door? How do we want this house to feel? Because I bet she doesn't want to be screaming and yelling either. I bet that doesn't feel good. Whew. So it's time to go back and have another meeting, man. Another breakfast. But this is going to be we're clearing the deck on a new marriage. We get to build what's next. No more mind reading. No more, I just didn't see it. We're done with all that. We're going to start being really honest and really direct. I want you to tell her, I'm just afraid I'm going to wake up 10 years and you're still going to be yelling. You're still not going to like me and you're still not going to like the life you're in. And I want to love you. How do I do that? And let's start there. My guess is y'all are going to need to go see a marriage counselor to reimagine how y'all engage with each other because y'all are setting each other off. And it's just a tough dynamic. But maybe you can have this conversation and begin to practice together. It's going to take a ton of emotional maturity. That's going to be hard, but I believe in you. All right, we're back. All right, off air, we were just talking about that last call. Keeler said something important. He said, just because somebody has a higher standard of clean doesn't mean they're right. And I love that. Kelly, what were you were saying something that I thought was pretty insightful.
So I admittedly am a bit OCD and I'm a clean freak. I like things exactly where they go all the time. But that's my hang up. That's on me. So my husband, who does not have that hang up in any way, he is closer to you. He likes piles of things. He will make the bed in the morning. And, to me, I'm like, that's all the lines aren't straight, but that's on me. So I'll wait till he leaves in the morning and I may go straighten it up. And I know when he walks in later that afternoon, he rolls his eyes, but I don't expect him to be that way.
And on the other side of it, I literally like things in piles. I don't know why. I like them in piles. And I also know that makes my wife increasingly more and more and more on edge.
Yes, Sheila and I are very much the same.
So the way I can love her is to, when I see the pile starting to get out of control, to stop and clean all the piles off.
Yeah, like we have a place because I know that we are so different. This is where things can land. And as long as they land there, I don't say anything about it. I'm great. It's because you have to make those arrangements. But if I'm the one that has the problem with it, then, you mentioned putting the spoons in the wrong place. My daughter, when she puts the spoons up, always gets them backwards. First of all, who cares? But if I want to fix it, that's on me. Because she's done what I've asked her to do to her capabilities.
Sure.
And to my husband, the bed's made. Great. And I'm thrilled that he made it.
And he wouldn't have, in any other world, he's not making that bed.
No!
He's leaving the house being like, I just loved Kelly to the moon and back.
Exactly. And I'm fine with that. So I don't say anything. I'm like, great, you made the bed. Thank you. We always have whoever gets out of it last makes it. And it's always him. So, I get up at 5. He doesn't.
There,
so he doesn't get up at 5. But yeah, that's on me, not him.
Yeah.
But I will say that that wasn't my natural bend. It was quite a few years of marriage before I came to that.
Yeah.
It was like, well, I want it done this way. And then I realized I grew up in a house where that was expected. He didn't. And so we had to come to a mutual agreement, and that was worth the peace and the harmony.
And I think that's it. Like, what's going to get us to connection? What's going to get us to peace? Not what's going to get us to one of us being right. And when you try to go there, never works.